Have you ever felt a dream inside you, bright and alive, only for others to laugh at it? Have you ever tried to reach for something, and the world told you that you can't? Most people die with their music still inside them, not because they lack talent, but because they listen to the noise around them. This is the story of Leo, a young man who learned that the only person who can truly silence you is the one you see in the mirror. In a town where life moved like a clock, predictable, rigid, and loud, lived a young man named Leo. He wasn't the most successful businessman, nor the most practical engineer, nor the most charismatic leader in the neighborhood. But he had a dream: to become a storyteller. Not just any storyteller, but someone who used his voice to record tales of hope for the lonely, the tired, and the forgotten. He wanted to build a library of the soul, a place where anyone, anywhere, could listen and find the strength to keep going. Every morning, before the city traffic began to roar, Leo would sit in a small, cramped corner of his room with a cheap microphone and a stack of notebooks. He would record his voice, holding his breath to keep the sound of the world out, and whisper to the microphone, "There is a heart out there that needs this. I'll find it." But the people in his life didn't believe in him. "Leo," they laughed, "you're wasting your time talking to a wall. Go get a real job with a steady paycheck like everyone else. Stories are for children, and voices don't pay the rent. You're chasing a ghost in a machine." Even his closest friends told him, "You'll never make a living by sharing your feelings. The world is too busy to listen to a dreamer." Their words fell on him like a heavy gray rain that never stopped. And yet, every morning, he still sat in his corner. He would record quietly, patiently, his eyes tired from editing late into the night. His files failed to upload. His equipment broke. His numbers stayed at 0. Months turned into years. His voice grew steadier, but his heart grew tired. Every time he shared a piece of his soul, a story of kindness or a message of resilience, people only saw flaws. "Your voice is too plain," said one person. "No one cares about this topic," said another. A group of former colleagues pointed and laughed at his social media posts, calling him the digital beggar. For a long while, Leo believed them. He stopped recording. His microphone lay dusty and silent. He took a cubicle job instead, his days filled with spreadsheets and fluorescent lights. His dream became a quiet ache in his chest, never loud enough to cry, never silent enough to forget. One evening, after a long, draining shift, Leo sat on a park bench, watching the sunset. An old man stopped beside him, carrying a tattered book and a small portable radio. "You look heavy, son," the man said. "What burdens you?" Leo smiled faintly. "Just life, sir." The old man chuckled. "Life is never the weight. It's what you choose to carry that makes it heavy." Leo hesitated, then confessed, "I wanted to share stories. I wanted to help people through my words. But everyone laughed. They said I was shouting into a void that didn't care. So I stopped." The old man looked at him with eyes that seemed to hold a lifetime of stories. He turned on his small radio, and for a moment, there was nothing but static. "Tell me," the man said, "when you were in that room, recording those words, did it make you happy?" Leo nodded. "Yes, very. It was the only time I felt alive." "And when you stopped, did their laughter stop echoing in your head?" Leo lowered his gaze. "No. It got louder." The old man smiled softly. "Then perhaps their laughter was not your enemy. It was your teacher. It showed you what happens when you give your power away." He reached into his bag and handed Leo a small, burnt-out vacuum tube from an old radio. Do you see this? It looks like a piece of junk, but it was once the heart of a machine that brought the whole world together. If you speak with faith, the right ears will hear you, but only if you keep speaking. Then the man stood, tucked his book under his arm, and walked away into the twilight. That night, Leo couldn't sleep. He kept staring at the old radio tube on his nightstand. He felt something stir again, something quiet, something strong. The next morning, before the first alarm clock in the city rang, he walked back to his desk. He sat where he once used to sit, took a deep breath, and turned on his microphone. The world noticed. Some mocked his comeback. "He still thinks he's a philosopher," they muttered. But Leo didn't listen anymore. His voice moved with a calm rhythm, telling the truth, sharing the struggle, finding the light. He poured his heart into every word. Days became weeks. His first few videos got no views. His second was criticized for poor quality. The third was ignored entirely. And on the night when he felt the most discouraged, a night where he felt like giving up for good, something beautiful happened. He received a message from someone halfway across the world. "I was about to give up tonight," the stranger wrote, "but I found your voice. Your story reminded me that I'm not alone. Thank you for speaking." Then another message came. And another. The same people who once mocked him now saw his name being shared by thousands. His voice didn't just reach ears, it reached hearts. He hadn't built a library of books. He had built a sanctuary of hope. Leo said nothing to his critics. He only smiled, because in his heart, he knew he hadn't proved them wrong. He had proved himself right. Years passed, and Leo's library became a beacon for millions. People wrote to him saying his stories had saved their marriages, their careers, and their lives. But he never boasted. He still sat in his quiet room before the city woke up, listening to the silence. One afternoon, a young man reached out to him, shy and uncertain. "Leo," he wrote, "I want to start a podcast about mental health, but everyone says the market is too saturated, and no one wants to hear another person talk." Leo looked at the message, smiled, and thought of the old radio tube. "Then don't record for the market," he wrote back. "Record for the one person who is sitting in the dark right now, waiting for a reason to stay. Let the world say what it will, but never stop pouring your own heart into your work." Leo finally understood that the world will always have voices that try to pull you back to the ground. But those voices only have power if you give them your ears. When you finally silence the noise of the crowd, your own purpose becomes a light that can guide the world. If this story touched your heart, please subscribe and give me a like. Remember, your dream isn't measured by how many people believe in it, but by how deeply you do. The world didn't need Leo to fit in. It needed him to stand out, and it needs you to do the same. Stop listening to the critics who aren't even playing the game. Keep speaking, keep believing. The world needs your voice.